So if you recognize the thumbnail, then you already know and read the headline. You've already figured out what happened. Um, Virginia Giuffre, I don't remember how to pronounce her name. The main girl who was going after Epstein and Prince Andrew and who's that? Who's the other chick in the thumbnail? Anyways, she self-deleted allegedly. That's the story. So let's take a look at it. We're gonna go over this, and then I'm going to open the panel. So let's read it. Virginia Giuffre, who accused Britain's... Shouldn't there be two T's in Britain? Is there there's two T's, right? I think there's two T's. Prince Andrew and Epstein sex trafficking scandal has died. Virginia Giuffre, who accused Prince Andrew and other influential men of sexually exploiting her as a teenager, trafficked by financier Jeffrey Epstein, has died. She was 41. Giuffre died by suicide Friday at her farm in Western Australia, her publicist confirmed. Virginia was a fierce warrior in the fight against sexual abuse and sex trafficking. She was the light that lifted so many survivors, her family said in a statement. Despite all the adversity she faced in her life, she shone so bright, she will be missed beyond measure. Her publicist, Deanie von Muffling, described Giuffre as deeply loving, wise, and funny. She adored her children and many animals. She was always more concerned with me than with herself, said von Muffling. Von Muffling wrote in a statement. I will miss her beyond words. It was the privilege of a lifetime to represent her. The American-born Giuffre, who lived in Australia for years, became an advocate for sex trafficking survivors after emerging as a central figure in Epstein's prolonged downfall. The wealthy, well-connected New York money manager killed himself in August 2019 while awaiting trial on U.S. federal sex trafficking charges involving dozens of teenage girls and young women, some as young as 14. The charges came 14 years after police in Palm Beach, Florida, first began investigating allegations that he sexually abused underage girls who were hired to give him massages. Giuffre came forward publicly after the initial investigation ended in an 18-month Florida jail term for Epstein, who made a secret deal to avoid federal prosecution by pleading guilty instead to relatively minor state-level charges of soliciting prostitution. He was released in 2009. I believe that, if I remember correctly, maybe I don't, but I thought that his sentence was carried out at home. I may be mistaken in that. In subsequent lawsuits, Giuffre said she was a teenage spa attendant at Mar-a-Lago, President Trump's Palm Beach Club, when she was approached in 2000 by Epstein's girlfriend and later employee, Ghislaine Maxwell. That's the name I couldn't remember. Giuffre said Maxwell hired her as a masseuse for Epstein, but the couple effectively made her a sexual servant, pressuring her into gratifying not only Epstein, but his friends and associates. Giuffre said she was flown around the world for assignations with men including Prince Andrew when she was 17 and 18. The men denied it and assailed Giuffre's credibility. She acknowledged changing some key details of her account, including the age at which she first met Epstein. But many parts of her story were supported by documents, witness testimony, and photos, including one of her and Andrew with his arm around her bare midriff in Maxwell's London townhouse. That's what the cover photo was cut from. Giuffre said in one of her lawsuits that she had sex with the royal 3 times, once in London during her 2001 trip, at Epstein's New York mansion when she was 17, and in the Virgin Islands when she was 18. Get out of here, AP. Ghislaine said, I want you to do for him What you do for Epstein, Giuffre told NBC News' Dateline in September 2019. Andrew categorically rejected Giuffre's allegations and said he didn't recall having met her. His denials blew up in his face during a November 2019 BBC interview. Viewers saw a prince who proffered curious rebuttals, such as disputing Giuffre's recollection of sweaty dancing by saying he was medically incapable of perspiring, and showed no empathy for the women who said Epstein abused them. That interview, if you haven't seen that interview, is phenomenal. I chopped it up into like a little compilation of some of the best bits, and YouTube deleted it off my other channel, but it's fucking amazing. His denials blew up in his... Oh yeah, seen that. Within days of the interview, Andrew stepped down from his royal duties. He said he settled with Giuffre in 2022 for an undisclosed sum, agreeing to make a substantial donation to her survivors organization. A statement filed in court said that the prince acknowledged Epstein was a sex trafficker and Giuffre an established victim of abuse. She also filed and, in at least some cases, settled lawsuits against Epstein and others connected to him. In one case, she dropped her claims against a prominent U.S. attorney, saying she might have erred in identifying him as one of the men whom Epstein supplied her. What was his name? I can't think of his name right now. Epstein's self-deletion put an end to his accusers' hopes of holding him criminally accountable. Maxwell was convicted in 2021 on federal sex trafficking and conspiracy charges and was sentenced to 20 years in prison. She said she wasn't to blame for Epstein's abuse. Prosecutors elected not to include Giuffre's allegations in the Maxwell case, but Giuffre later told the court that the British socialite had opened the door to hell. Giuffre, born Virginia Roberts, told interviewers that her childhood was shattered when she was sexually abused as a grade schooler by a man her family knew. She later ran away from home and endured more abuse, she said. She said she met her now husband in 2002 while taking massage training in Thailand at Epstein's behest. She married, moved to Australia, and had a family. Giuffre founded an advocacy shelter called SOAR in 2015. Giuffre separated from her husband and children this year. She had been charged with breaching a family violence restraining order over an incident in February and was set to appear in court in June in the city of Perth, where her estranged husband and children live. She had yet to enter a plea to the charge. A conviction would have carried a potential maximum sentence of 2 years in prison. She was hospitalized after a serious accident, her publisher said last month. She didn't answer questions at the time about the date, location, nature, or other specifics of the accident and about the accuracy of the Instagram post that appeared to come from Giuffre. The post said she had been in a car that was hit by a school bus and her prognosis was dire. That post, I looked at that post earlier and it said that she claimed to have been hit by a school bus going 110 kilometers per hour, which is about 68 miles per hour. And that the doctor had given her 4 days to live. That's what the post being referenced said. She is survived by her 3 children, whom the statement described as light of her life. Sigrid Macaulay, an attorney for Giuffre, said in a statement, "Her courage pushed me to fight harder, and her strength was awe-inspiring. The world has lost an amazing human being. Rest in peace, my sweet angel." So there you have it. I am going to drop the link for club owner tier members. If you would like to get early access to StreamYard links, become a club owner tier member either on YouTube or Ko-fi. It's the top tier in both platforms. And I know that in addition to that post, there is a Ko-fi is published. There's a post that I saw, and I'll look for it in just a second here and pull it up. There's a post I saw that she made on Twitter or something previously that had said she would never self-delete. So, what do people think? Is this legit? Not legit? Sorry, I can only track one thing at a time. I was real sad to hear when she got hit. I hope she hasn't died. Oh yeah, she has died. Yes, she did die. And they're saying it's self-deletion, which is pretty suspicious. Now, the only thing that my only reservation on saying she was murked is the possibility that everything that we watch on TV is contrived and fake entirely. I can't help but notice that everything sort of centers around Mar-a-Lago initially, as far as an origin, and people, despite what most people think, when I think of Donald Trump, I think of an actor. He's a career actor. I don't view him as a businessman. I don't view him as a real estate guy. I don't view him as a politician. I think that he's an actor, and so it is possible that everything that we read about here is just contrived plot. Think about like a long soap opera that's not where the audience doesn't realize it's watching a play. That's what I think. I think rap is rap music. I think a lot of politics is. I think a lot of things are. But you don't know what you don't know. If not that, then almost certainly this is a dirty move. But all right, and it's posted for YouTube's club owner members as well. First man.
Thank you for doing this. If and when I get out of line over this, because I haven't wanted to go live about something for a while, and I almost did earlier, but I'm in rough shape. Like I said in chat, I take this kind of personally because it's kind of the reason why it took me until I was in my 30s to go to the police about stuff that happened to me when I was young. And then for something like this to happen, where are the Epstein files, bro? Where are they? They were on her desk weeks ago. They're on my desk. We're about to release them right now. I want them. Listen, the only thing that's going to fix this is for the guillotines to come out. That's it.
Sasquatch, foil hat.
Yeah, I'm really leaning towards the witness protection concept because
that's
looking at all the different things. I mean, if home chick was having kidney problems, it'd be fairly easy to drop off somebody's body and just pack her up in the next ambulance on the way somewhere that's not here. And then they get all the data without anybody worrying about what happens to her.
I had not thought about the witness protection at all. That could be true for both of them because like there's just no way to me that what happened to Epstein happened to Epstein. Or what they say happened to Epstein happened to Epstein.
I say Sasquatch works for I'm trying not to swear, for the government. He's trying to distract from the fact that they, yeah.
Oh, shit. That would make sense. He's sitting there with his foil hat on, probably coaxing up the word conspiracy theorist and, other mildly derogatory things to describe it. Mike 23, long time no see. What's going on?
He works for China in America.
No, I'm pretty sure that Sasquatch is AI.
You keep saying this, and I keep showing up.
I know.
There's 1,000% that Epstein didn't do it, and then this happens, and we're supposed to go, somebody in chat said, well, what evidence do I have that Trump is involved in this? Listen, a large majority of the people who, like Russell Brand, Tim Pool, Jimmy Dore, all the people, big, huge names, all these people that were like, oh, we got to trust Trump. He's gonna do all the good stuff. They're all turning against him now.
Against Trump?
Everybody is. They're like, whoa. Hold on. This isn't what we asked for. Some of it is, like the deportations, but that's about the only thing that's good. And I told you a few weeks ago, Peterson's a shill, and then he goes on Rogan, and he's like, oh, we have to have guardrails on the First Amendment. Nah, they're all paid shills.
Oh, did he
all
say
of them.
that? I missed that.
I watched the whole interview.
That's a turn. Yeah, I think that.
Yep.
I think that once you get to there's no proof of it, right? And when people ask that, what they're really wanting for proof is an admission or an official statement, from an official source. Which, if you take a step back and think about it, like that's crazy to have that as your highest tier of proof, is that some institution or whatever that lies previously. That's what you held as the highest standard of truth.
Yes, I had this discussion literally as you started. I was over on somewhere else, and it was the Mel thing again. And I left the other place for that. And they're like, oh, medical, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah. And also the medical treatment for being gay the year after I was born was electroshock therapy. That was the treatment. So now you're asking me to accept the new medical consensus of the new way we're going to do it. Not doing it. Didn't trust them then. Not going to trust them now. Oh, well, you're just stupid and old. All right, brah.
You should really give the electroshock therapy a chance. Sometimes it has a good effect.
It makes you stutter good too.
That was wild. Was that on purpose? That was on purpose. That had to be on purpose.
Me imitating my cousin. I know someone who stutters just like that, and I pick on him by talking the way he does.
That's anecdotal.
For fun.
All right. So here's the post. One of her social media posts earlier that I was talking about. She said, "When was this? Oh, my birthday." In 2019, she says, I'm making it publicly known that in no way, shape, or form am I self-deletal, whatever, suicidal. I have made this known to my therapist and GP. If something happens to me, in the sake of my family, do not let this go away and help me to protect them. Too many evil people want to see me quieted. So, do what you want with that.
I would expect all of you to believe me when I posted that. Right? Like if I'm posting that, I'm going out of my way to go, something's really weird here.
Right. Correct. However, there's no way to filter. We know you, but there's no way to filter out what is real from what is fake. Like, how do you say that this whole character isn't contrived?
Where's the communication that said that I was self-deleting? You have to believe what I said if I didn't say a difference.
What if I'm questioning whether or not you're a real person at all? That's what I'm asking.
Why would you question that?
Because all I did was read your post. I don't know you. If I didn't, I'm using you as a correlate to Virginia.
I understand that, but why would I go out of my way to post that if that wasn't real? Because
you're playing a role, and 10th Man is a role, and the role of 10th Man is to attract attention, right? So how better to keep attention focused on 10th Man than to put something like that and keep it alive?
Well, where are the tweets before and after that?
I don't know. I looked this up in an article.
I'm just saying.
Okay, but regardless of what
Occam's razor,
that doesn't answer the question.
You have to use Occam's razor.
So I really dig Occam's razor, but really and truly has very little use when dealing with deep state government organizations.
I understand that.
There's two ways that you can approach this. You can approach this from this is crime. This crime happened, and these are the people are surrounded by the incident. Or you can approach this as, this is something I saw on TV. And both are probably accurate. But honestly, the more accurate perspective is probably, this is something I saw on TV. Because that's literally true. You know that's
due diligence.
You don't know the other part. Am I too far down the rabbit hole? Welcome, due diligence. What do you think?
No, I hear you.
Oh, I'm just catching up to the conversation, man. I'm bored and I just hopped on. I'm gonna fall back and listen for a minute, see if I got something to say.
Good deal. We're talking about Virginia Giuffre, who is, if you don't recognize that name, she's the chick that accused Epstein and Prince Andrew and Ghislaine Maxwell of the SA stuff. She was the leading chick. She just died of self-deletion and at home. So.
Oh yeah, complete BS. I don't know what else to say, but yeah, it's BS.
Quite the coincidence.
So, and this is something else that bugged me. So the same thing bugged me about about Klaus Schwab, right? The World Economic Forum guy. He was too perfect of a Bond villain. He sounded the way. No, Klaus Schwab, he's old. He's been there forever.
Do you see the new guy? No, he just got replaced by a guy that bleeds out of his eye like Hannibal off Goldeneye or whatever it was. I swear to God, pull up his picture. He's got a red eye.
All right, see, this is what I'm talking about. This shit is TV. I got to look at that.
Yes, you got to see it, man. I thought you knew this. I would have brought it up already. I'm going to start texting you little videos.
No,
you're not going to believe it. It's madness. Wait till you hear him talking.
Peter Brabeck. Okay.
It's unbelievable.
This is wild.
It is wild.
They're doing too much.
I think perhaps they hired some of the Onion authors to come and write reality for them.
And I'm just supposed to sit here and go, it's all good.
What's up?
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Green here.
What up, Sasquatch?
What up, baby? Welcome to the show. Good to see you, brother.
What else? What up, Flo?
What up? And Jenny, welcome.
Oh hey.
Oh hey.
I didn't notice you added me into the chat.
Hey ho.
Yeah. I just brought you up.
Okay.
You guys have any thoughts, or should we just take a look at this guy?
I just wanted to add something really quick.
Sure.
I've done a lot of research since this. I mean, I kind of knew about all this stuff before it even became big, headliner news kind of stuff, because I'm kind of a conspiracy theorist. But yeah, something definitely smells fishy. And I've done a lot of research regarding the Satanic Network. Yeah, it's really basically.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question about that in a second.
Okay. I just wanted to say one last point I want to mention. If you think about it, every nook and cranny of our fucking society has been taken over by the shadow government, 1%, whatever you want to call it. It's a crazy world out there. Mad world out there, like Alice in Wonderland, kind of mad.
So you were in chat earlier. You said something about the Satanic Network and that you knew people with connections. But doesn't that mean that you actually have connections?
Yes. I grew up in a family, and has affiliations with that stuff.
Knew I wore the right hat tonight.
How did you do that?
Huh?
That's good. So. You know that I want to ask you questions about that and get more out of you.
That's fine.
Okay, Flo.
Lived experience.
There's a link to the video in the backstage from either account there. Because you have an old video. That's not what he looks like now. It's almost like they put a cybernetic eye in him or something since that one. It's weird. You'll never believe it.
All right, let's take a look at this real quick, and then we're gonna come back to Jenny's backstory.
Oh, I figured you'd just review it while she was talking. You know, I'm not trying to invade.
That
No,
is not his real eye, bro.
This is
That's what he looks like now.
Are you kidding me?
I'm fracking serious, man. It's all over the internet. Just a couple days ago, this happened.
See,
Real life villain.
and he's replacing Klaus Schwab, who is already too perfect of a villain. This stuff is crazy to me. And
All right.
so just
Hold
like
on.
this stuff.
I have to do this because it's part of. All right, that is literally the only extant picture I can find of this cracker. That one picture that you brought up I've got it hundreds of times over here. I can't find a picture of him anywhere else.
No,
And
in
look
his
at him
testimony,
in his Star Trek villain shirt. What is this, people?
I welcome you to the Fourth Reich.
Well,
So just like these guys are a little bit, they're doing too much. What's the deal with the obvious self-deletions? Sometimes things are just too much, right?
No, that's what I'm thinking here. Hold on now. The witness protection concept actually carries an awful lot more weight to it than the artificial self-deletion by the deep state or whatever, because it's
an easier pill to swallow.
I'm just saying that's exactly what we expect to happen, right? And so to have it happen, and we expect it to happen, would throw shade in the wrong corners, if you get what I'm saying. But if it was a witness protection thing and they set it up to look like the deep state knocked her off, then hands clean and free, and you got all the information you want.
Yeah, no, that's definitely. And if she was estranged from her husband and kids, which would also be right, we could work into the script.
Well, sure. I mean, pretty much anything. All you need, given that somebody took a real hardcore shot at her with a freaking bus, and that didn't get her. So now you've got her on a tether attached to a machine, and you can ship her anywhere you want to with a basic ambulance.
Okay, but hold on. Did anybody see the pictures of her when she was in the hospital? And it doesn't even look like real injuries. It's just makeup. And then supposedly the driver that was driving the bus said that it was only a minor fender bender, and he didn't see her there at all.
The accident wasn't even reported till the next day.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
He does not recall her being anywhere around when it happened.
Now, hold on, I want to hear it.
they are not trying to hide it. It's this communist. World Economic Forum has states failed. Well, let's hear
that. Like, did we actually
describe it to us
in our nation and globally? And did we solve that? Like, did we actually manage to vaccinate everyone in the world? No. So
that was lovely.
Cry harder.
I just wanted you to see the picture.
Yeah, no, I get you. I am just, I don't know. Something just feels off.
That is a deal.
Let's talk to the lady about her stuff. That sounds intriguing.
I like her stuff. Hi, Jenny.
Well,
we want to talk about your stuff.